Chapter 198. Erosion 3. The newly discovered land. Naturally, there were natives living in this new world. However, that race happened to be extraordinary. You're a dream demon? Quite extraordinary, in fact. Yes, Mr. Death King. That's right. After being hit 59 times by me, the dream demon raised both hands in surrender. Incubus. Succubus. The dream demon race, whose names often ended in bus, were the inhabitants of the new world. I clenched my fist. Ooh-ha. I'm curious, won't you lose energy if I stay in here while asking you questions? Should I take care of your energy? No, Mr. Death King, sir. My energy is overflowing. Then from now on, answer my questions politely. If you don't speak politely, then your face will become polite instead. Yes. Mr. Death King. Good. I nodded in satisfaction. Behind me, Beihurayong looked moved. Kim Zombie, you really? You've learned how to be a man. If you look into the abyss would look back at you. After being taught and trained by Beihurayong, I had already become skilled at beating people up without realizing it. All of the crew on this ship are asleep. Is that your doing? Yes. I did the right thing. How so? Originally, our race lived as parasites who invaded the dreams of other animals. The dream demon said. In all honesty, from our perspective, dreams are reality. And on the other hand, what you call reality is a dream. We thought we were the only living beings that had developed intelligence, but we were shocked when you all crossed the ocean. So they were a race who took dreams as reality. Do you not have a physical body? If it's the body that I think you're talking about, then, no, we don't. Our common sense is different from yours, so it's hard to explain. It seems we can communicate pretty well despite that. That's because we're talking in the mind of an animal. The animal the dream demon was talking about was the snail captain of the ship. From the habit of calling people animals, I got an idea of the monstrous habits of the dream demons. After we've eaten an animal's dreams, we gain their memories. Thanks to this, we were able to learn a lot about you. Over the past 24 years, we've been making step-by-step plans after getting over the shock of meeting you. Plans? It's our first time encountering animals with as many memories as you. From our perspective, it's like a restaurant. Or perhaps you could call it a banquet. In any case, we were shocked that we weren't alone. Our kids don't know anything about you. Well, we are dream parasites after all, so there's nothing to see. We're able to use your memories to pick the right person. You've never seen us, you can't see us, and even if you do see us, it would be in a dream, so you wouldn't think much of it. For reference, the dream demon was currently in the form of the Flame Emperor. I ordered it. No matter how fake it was, I couldn't bear to hit Raviol's face. Before becoming my love, Raviol could be treated as a world-class treasure just from her looks alone. Mr. Death King is the first to survive after having your dreams eaten. The dream demon quietly confessed. That's why it's so fascinating. How did you know it was a dream? How did you enter this dream in the first place? If you read my memories, you'd be able to see for yourself. That, strangely enough, I can't read your memories very well. It's like I can only see fragments. It's very unique in many ways. The dream demon kept looking at me with curiosity in her eyes. I had a rough understanding of what was happening. It's probably because I used the dream appearance item. I was not in my own dream. I was in the mind of the snail captain. I just used an item to enter the mind of another. That's why my mind appeared fragmented to the dream demon. A race that only lives in the dream world. How mysterious. Well, I guess your illusions don't work on me because of my strong mental power. That's odd. I don't think that is the problem. I understand that you are a strange race. I changed the subject. So why did you capture the poor sailors and put them to sleep? Because of you, this ship has become a ghost ship. They are all going to die of dehydration. The dream demon hesitated. When a man with the face of the Flame Emperor made such an expression, vomit and phlegm seemed to want to spew out of me at the same time. In addition, perhaps because he was an incubus, his musculature was much more developed than the Flame Emperor. His shoulders had become wider and his chest larger. For some reason, his face seemed to be glowing too. That was unfortunate. Hook! Ah! When I came to my senses, I realized that my palm was lightly resting against the dream demon's cheek. Why are you hitting me again? It's just a face that deserves a beating. It was Mr. Death King that told me to take this animal's face. Sorry. Anyways, why did you capture a normal ship? Instead of getting angry, the dream demon continued to hesitate. I'm not sure if I can answer that. That is, probably an important secret of my race. Probably? Yes. We never imagined that there were animals across the ocean. And we didn't know that there could be such delicious animals. That's why. After thinking about it for 24 years, we finally came to a conclusion. The dream demon finally spoke. We decided to invade the land you live in. Invasion. This is not the only ship that has been devoured. Currently, all 33 ships crossing the ocean are under our control. All of the invading animals have been put to sleep. And our vanguard already set sail 10 days ago. We are in the latter group. That's why I realized something strange. Quest window. A hologram appeared in front of me. There, the task that needed to be completed on the 35th floor was displayed. I paid attention to the paragraphs at the bottom. The new continent is only a new world for the 7 races. Others have already created their homes on that land and are living there. Currently, the feud between the natives and the explorers is on the brink of exploding. Perhaps, a one-sided massacre is about to take place. Invasion. Coexistence. Or maybe expulsion. The 7 races are in danger of extermination. It is up to you to guide them. However, failure to deliver could result in the destruction of one or more races. Plus. I see. I finally realized. It's not the natives of the new continent that are in danger. The quest window clearly stated that the 7 races are in danger of extermination. It's our kids who might get slaughtered. The counterattack of the natives. That was the crisis of this era. As soon as I woke up, I told my companions the truth. The more I spoke, the more serious the expressions of Aberka and the Black Dragon Master became. I see. So it's the complete opposite of the history of our world. The Black Dragon Master murmured. We were entrapped by our prejudice. We thought that it would be the new world that would be invaded, and the natives that would be slaughtered. That's right. If the natives are stronger, then aggression would naturally be reversed. It's not just about strength. You go. Aberka frowned. There are things in this world that even the strongest warrior can't resist. Sleep is one of them. Everyone needs sleep. You said they were dream demons. That's a tough race to deal with. Death King. Did you say the invasion has already begun? Yes, Senior. I nodded. There are parasites on the crew of a ship that departed 10 days ago. Is there a way for them to voluntarily wake up from the dream? Supposedly, that is determined by the dream demons. I remembered the conversation I just had. They deliberately give happy dreams so that their victims don't wake up. On the contrary, they can also make them wake up early by giving them nightmares. Well, in my case, the dream demon took the form of Raviel. That's dangerous. Schwa, the boat rocked with the movements of the waves. In the middle of nowhere in the sea. None of the dozens of crew members had opened their eyes yet. Even those with strong willpower have a hard time resisting the happiness. Imagine falling into a dream in which your dream came true. You wouldn't want to escape even if your body died. Yes. It would be quietest massacre in history. The Black Dragon Master clicked her tongue. We can't let this happen. We have to move quickly. What about these sailors? We can't pretend we didn't see them. We need to save them. We tied the 32 sailors together with a rope. From a distance, it looked like dried oysters that had been woven together. Aburka sat at the end of the rope, and the Black Dragon Master held Aburka's hand tightly. Aburka stared intently at the Black Dragon Master's face. What is it, Junior's son? It's nothing. Ugher. Aburka muttered in a soft tone before turning his head away. Maybe this guy. How silly. Transfer. A total of 35 persons were simultaneously transported by the Black Dragon Master's skill. Originally, since we were mental bodies, we couldn't directly use skills on someone in this world unless we possessed the body of another. However, Aburka, the constellation of this world, was able to serve as a bridge. When the Black Dragon Master touched Aburka, and Aburka touched the crew, we were all influenced by the skill's effect. Good. When the instant transfer succeeded, the Black Dragon Master's expression became lighter. The ocean breeze blew her dark hair gently. We'll head to the new continent like this. Everyone, hold on tight so you don't fall. Aburka kept glancing at the Black Dragon Master's face. The Black Dragon Master herself was too focused on using instant transfer to notice. No, perhaps the Black Dragon Master couldn't read the expression on the hobgoblin's face. Because it was difficult to understand the expressions of other races. However, I was able to see it clearly. It felt like my romantic senses, which had developed after sharing a century with Raviel, began to tingle. Does this child really? While my romance radar was going off, we quickly arrived at the shore. And found a port built there. It was a pioneering town. A place where all the explorers, merchants, and soldiers who crossed the ocean with dreams of the new continent gathered. We landed gently in the town square and looked around. It's quiet. Too quiet. I can't feel any sense of life. Even though it was a fairly large town, we couldn't hear the sounds of people at all. Not only was there no sound, there wasn't even a moving shadow on the streets. A chilling silence filled the air. It was more like a ghost town. Have they already been attacked by the dream demons? There was a hint of anxiety on the Black Dragon Master's face. Probably. But let's explore first. I entered a nearby building. Sure enough, I found people sleeping in the bedroom. I'm guessing that most if not all of the residents in this town are asleep. The situation in the other buildings was the same. At least 500 residents were all asleep. Most of them are in bed, but there are a few lying in bars or on the street. It seems that they aimed for the time when most people were vulnerable. Then the other pioneering towns. They shouldn't be much different. The dream demons launched a massive invasion. Unfortunately, quite a few people here have already died of malnutrition. If the dream demons get to the continent through the crew of that ship, the situation will get out of hand really quickly. It would spread like an epidemic. Their children on the continent would fall into an eternal sleep without any way to retaliate. There might be some people who managed to survive the dream demon's attack. Wait here, I'll go take a look around the other towns. The Black Dragon Master disappeared without waiting for a response. Her dark aura lingered in the air for a moment after she left. Aberka and I were the only two left in the town square. And Aberka was blankly staring at the place where the Black Dragon Master had just been standing. No matter how you looked at it, my radar was right. Hey. Aberka. Ugger. What is it, Daddy? I decided to ask straightforwardly. Have you fallen in love with the Black Dragon Master? Aberka didn't respond. The strongest warrior in goblin history, the child who had managed to become a constellation through his own hard work, furrowed his brows and pursed his lips. Daddy. Then, he blushed. I think I might have fallen in love for the first time. Chapter 199. Reflection in the Mirror 1. Aberka. It's the first time in my entire life I feel like this. My heart is pounding. I see. I wasn't sure what to say. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, admires the sweetness of love. I was troubled. What should I do? Should I give my blessing to this child who is finally experiencing love after living for hundreds of years? But the Black Dragon Master was my colleague and best friend. It would scratch at my conscience to cheer my son on behind her back. In any case, congratulations on falling in love, son. Falling in love for the first time changes you. It allows you to move forward in many ways. You called her the Black Dragon Master. Aberka grabbed my shoulders. His hands were heavy. Each of Aberka's palms was as large as my head, so it was a bit bothersome. But when I saw his twinkling eyes, in front of my face, I felt that it wasn't so bad. My child's eyes were beautiful. Is that her real name? No. She doesn't like being called by her real name. The name Black Dragon Master just means that she is the leader of the Black Dragon Guild. There are probably only 5 people who know her real name.
Oh.
Indeed. Aberka was amazed. Even her name can't be easily known. Good. It must mean that only the brave and capable are worthy of being acquainted with her. She has a thorough personality. The Black Dragon Master wasn't the type to care about the courage of those trying to approach her. In fact, it was practically the opposite. The Black Dragon Master had very little expectations in the world. What's her favorite flower? Lavender and allium. I don't know those flowers. What music does she like? Piano music is her favorite, like the melody dropping droplets of notes on white drawing paper. Surprisingly, she also likes jazz. Elegant and graceful.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I wondered if I could tell him more than that. The nervous heart was beginning to feel more and more guilty. However, Aberka held my shoulders tighter, not caring about how I felt. What about hobbies? What's her favorite food? What does she usually do? When's her birthday? Son. Had you become so blinded by love that you could no longer see your parents? I know what it's like to fall in love for the first time, but Daddy's shoulders are beginning to hurt. Her hobby is writing romance. Rascal. Figure it out by yourself. I shook Aberka's hands off. In the first place, why are you asking me? You should be able to know what the person you love likes just by looking into their eyes. If you're not confident, then prepare everything you think they might like and give it to them. Ugher? Is that so? Right. But the Black Dragon Master is a person with clear boundaries. Don't use your feelings as an excuse to arbitrarily cross those boundaries. Be as respectful as possible. As if you're asking for permission. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a bit difficult. What's a bit difficult? The two of us froze in shock. When we turned to look, we found that the Black Dragon Master had returned. She looked at us with a frown. Why are you so surprised? It's like you saw a ghost. No reason. We were just talking about how difficult it was to deal with the dream demons. Humph, well, sure. The Black Dragon Master shrugged. Fortunately, she didn't seem to suspect anything. Well, it would be hard for her to imagine that a hobgoblin constellation had fallen for her. I went to visit the other towns in the area. How was it? It's all the same. Everyone's asleep. But it's not like I returned with no results. The Black Dragon Master's aura spread from her fingertips. Swoosh. The black aura drew in the air like ink. I found a map in one town leader's house. I checked in the other towns too, and the maps are more or less the same. This proves that the towns were sharing information about the new continent. We could also use this to guess the path the pioneers took. The Black Dragon Master drew the map with a serious glint in her eyes. This showed her willingness to save the kids that had been entrapped by the sleep demons. As I glanced at the side of the Black Dragon Master's face framed with her long black hair, I fully understood Aberka's feelings. It's understandable. She was a beautiful person. The Black Dragon Master rarely talked about herself. Sometimes she brought up old stories, but those weren't the Black Dragon Master's personal business. Instead, they were just past experiences with colleagues. This person with a solid wall in her heart was incredibly beautiful in my eyes. Because it showed that she was doing her all to protect something. Death King. Are you listening to me? Of course. I'm listening intently. I nodded vigorously. Senior. The problem isn't just that our continent will be invaded. A few more days and all the kids here who have fallen asleep will die of malnutrition. We don't have much time left. It would probably be less than a week at the longest. When I pointed this out, the Black Dragon Master froze. You're right. Do you have something in mind? The dream demons live in the dream world, not in reality. So whether we persuade them or subdue them, we need to enter the dream world anyway. Except, there would be no end if we were to try to convince the dream demons one by one. It would take too long, and in that time, all the kids would die of malnutrition. We have no choice but to persuade the entire race at the same time. At the same time. How would we do that? Instead of visiting them one by one, we need to invite the dream demons over as a group. I turned to look at Aberka. That's my plan. Firstly, invite as many dream demons as possible into Aberka's dream. Then, Senior and I will enter Aberka's dream and negotiate with the dream demons. You go. For some reason, Aberka blushed and narrowed his shoulders. To put it simply, he twisted his body like a worm. Does that mean that Daddy and his colleague would enter my dream? That's a bit embarrassing. It feels like I'm opening up a secret that I wouldn't easily show. What was he embarrassed about? He'd already received my special training in his dream. This Daddy was ashamed of you. I'm sorry for not considering your privacy. But we need to stop the massacre. Aberka. I hope my son can make a decisive decision here. Aberka looked at the Black Dragon Master's expression. Understood. Ugher. I will gladly give my soul for the cause. The most important thing is to prevent the sacrifice of the innocent. Oh my God. His chatting up was so obvious. It was so clear that he wanted to look good in front of the Black Dragon Master that I wanted to close my eyes and forget the fact that he was my son. Unfortunately, the Black Dragon Master didn't notice anything. She only tilted her head for a moment before getting back to the point. Right, Death King. Your suggestion seems to be the quickest solution. But how do you plan to attract the dream demons? First off, I'll use the dream appearance item on a few people and enter their dreams. If I beat up every dream demon I meet, I'm sure the rumors about me will spread quickly. Then, if they have any complaints, I'll tell them to come to Aburka's dream. Understood. The Black Dragon Master raised an eyebrow. You're so reliable. I'm glad I got to move to this stage with you. Hey. What's that supposed to mean? I've always been. Suddenly. I felt an intense gaze as I was about to laugh at the Black Dragon Master's words. Aburka was staring at me with a fierce look in his eyes. In fact, it was too strong to express it as a look in his eyes, and even calling it a glare was not enough. Instead, it was probably better to say his eyes were shining. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, regards you as a thorn in his side. What? The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, is beginning to question whether you might be a rival. No. Hey. Crazy guy. This daddy is just friends with the Black Dragon Master. Best friends. I secretly wrote on Aburka's arm. Aburka pursed his lips. Isn't daddy male too? I doubt that. Daddy already has an owner. Come on. You're talking nonsense. What if daddy's world is polygamous? That pissed me off. He's my son, but he's so annoying. Shut up. Don't ever say that. I will cut off all heads of blasphemy. Otherwise, why would you deny it so strongly? The stronger your denial, the more suspicious you are. Are you sure you're not really interested? The Black Dragon Master and I are colleagues who shared life and death. We are friends. We are friends, so naturally, we will smile with each other. What was that? You shared life and death? You go. Doesn't that mean you wanted to spend every moment together from birth to death? I didn't know Daddy was such a promiscuous person. I'm very disappointed. Why are you so annoying? The Black Dragon Master looked back and forth between father and son with an expression that showed she didn't understand what was going on. What are you guys doing? Daddy was cheering me up for a moment. Ugher. Aburka gave a wide, cheerful smile. In any case, Daddy is worrying for no reason. Until now, I've reigned as the strongest warrior in the history of the goblin race. It's really stupid. Is that so? The Black Dragon Master expressed her interest. So is that what it's like when you two are together? That's right. I don't know if you know, but Daddy likes to nag. Personally, I feel like he's too noisy when we're together. Aburka continued to have his first conversation with the Black Dragon Master. Suddenly, he glanced over at me and smiled. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, is keeping you in check. This guy? Whether it's training in the morning, elaborating on how to use aura, or checking to see if I understand the infernal heaven's demonic art properly. There's nothing he doesn't interfere with. It's better to keep some distance. After all, the closer you are, the more tired you'll feel after a while. This child? I want to slowly become an independent son. Daddy can't take care of me forever, can he? He lacks affection, so he just clings to the people next to him instead. Didn't you see it earlier? He wrote letters on my arm like a secret code. To be honest, it's unsightly. This bastard? You're so ungrateful. I was shaking. Our father-son love was nothing in front of his first love. This was probably why people said you would regret raising a son. Aha. The black dragon master covered her mouth with the back of her hand. You two have a really good relationship. Her eyes were filled with warmth. It was goodwill, not affection. Laughing and complaining means that you're very open with each other. When you first announced that you would be raising goblins, I wondered what you were going to do, but it seems I was worried for nothing. Death King. You're a really good friend to these kids. But even the goodwill was directed towards me, not a burqa.
Yeah.
Thank you. What is it? When I praise you, I mean it. There was a warm feeling between the black dragon master and me. Aburka's expression became ugly. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, holds a deep grudge against you. I was going to go crazy. The black dragon master had personally seen the love between me and Raviel and knew that there was no man in the world safer than me. For me, there was only Raviel. So matter how close we were, she could be certain that no romantic feelings would appear. That's why she can act like this so openly, but this son. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be the father who interfered with his son's love life. Suppressing my heart which felt like it was going to burst, I stood up. I'll be back after threatening the dream demons. Black Dragon Master, please wait here with a burqa. Huh? Are you sure it's fine? Each dream appearance eats up 100 points in one go. It's fine. It's just points, I can earn more later. I have a good junior. Really? The Black Dragon Master smiled and patted my shoulder. I'll look for a way to solve the malnutrition of the sleeping children. Hurry back, Death King. Tap tap. The hand of the Black Dragon Master, which was on my shoulder, overflowed with friendship. But since friendship was a form of affection, her action could also be considered affectionate. I glanced over at a burqa. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, clearly recognizes you as an enemy. Just as expected. A burqa was staring at me with blood-red aura flowing all over his body. Unless I was mistaken, that was killing intent. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, is determined to sin against heaven. This child was really doing his name proud. Chapter 200. Reflection in the Mirror, 2. I walked throughout the pioneering town, entering the dreams of its residents one after the other. And beating up all the dream demons I found in them. Purchased dream appearance. 100 points have been deducted. You currently have 6,012 race points. As planned, by the time I reached the 10th dream, rumors about me had begun to spread. In the 10th dream, an incubus with the director's face screamed at me. Hike! The crazy bully. The news has finally spread. I smiled contentedly. It felt worth it. But I used dream appearance 10 times, so of course it would work. Why are you meddling with our prey? Because you caught my attention. You can think of it as bad luck. By the way, why are you using the director's face? I heard that if I used this person's face, the beating would be less. Damn it. You guys are smart. I beat up the dream demon moderately. Quack. Why are you still hitting me? Did they tell you that the beating would be less, or that I wouldn't beat you at all. Child from the continent beyond the ocean. If you don't want to get beaten up anymore, spread my words throughout your race. A hobgoblin will fall asleep in this town square today, so bring as many of your people as possible to enter his dream. Why? I'm the guardian of the goblin race. The snail race and the elf race are also under the protection of the goblin race. That makes me the guardian deity of 3 races. You are about to put my children to eternal sleep, so how can I stay still? A god. The incubus looked up and down at me, his eyes filled with doubt. I smiled brightly and raised my fist, and the dream demon quickly came to his senses. You understood. I will pass your words to my people. That night, we carried out the operation as planned. Aberka would go to sleep, and the Black Dragon Master and I would enter his dream. Likewise, the dream demons that I'd persuaded would enter his dream. In other words, Aberka's mental world would become a meeting room. I haven't slept since I became a constellation. Although he said this, Aberka fell asleep rather fast. A deserted town. This small pioneering town, which had been by those who crossed the open ocean dreaming of a new world and had ended up being trapped in their dreams, was silent. Waves crashed against the shoreline, and the cicadas in the village cried to the rhythm of the waves. We should go too, Senior. Death King. The Black Dragon Master called my name. Between the black roars of the waves and the white cries of the cicadas, her voice pierced through. Yes? Your child is sticking to me, you should advise him to give up. I was a bit embarrassed. You noticed? You'd be surprised to know how many times I've been proposed to in my life. When it comes to romance, there are not many people as knowledgeable as I am. Nevertheless, I never thought I'd catch the eye of a constellation, or a goblin. I'm sorry. I knew that it wouldn't be polite to keep it a secret, but I felt like it would be too awkward to mention. I don't have any intention of dating anyone. The Black Dragon Master straightened her side bangs. The wind from the ocean blew across. Love is the act of willingly allowing someone else to become your weakness. I do not want a weakness. Don't you become stronger by loving someone?
Yeah.
That's true. But are you willing to live a life without Duke Ivancha? You are in good health. Your life is not in danger. But if Duke Ivancha died, your life would be over. If the Crusader dies, or I die, your structure will collapse. It would be the same even if the venomous snake or the heretic questioner died. The Black Dragon Master's fingers swept across the air. It seemed that she was buying something from the civilization store. It's hard for me to climb onto a tightrope and risk my life. The Black Dragon Master looked at me. I want my life to be only managed by me. I want to be able to carry things around in my pocket then throw them away if I have to. I'm ashamed to say this to others. No, Senior. Thank you for telling me. Right. So teach your child to endure the hardship of first love. My poor son. You got dumped before you could even confess. I looked down at Aberka, who was asleep in the square, with a pitying gaze. That's enough for the serious talk. Shall we go in and save our children? Yes. Purchased dream appearance. 100 points have been deducted. You currently have 5,912 race points. The two of us entered Aberka's dream. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a dense jungle. The smell of wet soil drifted through the air. It was similar to the smell one might encounter while walking at night after it rained. There were no asphalt or flashy signboards here, but trees as large as buildings stretched in every direction. Welcome, Daddy. And Daddy's best friend. Aberka was sitting on a large boulder. Where is this? This is the place where I trained about 200 years ago. A lot of powerful evil spirits inhabited this place, so I took care of it. I knew that it was dangerous and that it shouldn't easily be approached, but the harsher the training, the sweeter the results. Aburka boasted openly. He also didn't forget to flex his chest muscles. Well, those muscles were big enough to slap the Pacific Ocean across the face. The Death King's son has a great attitude. The Black Dragon Master gave a motherly smile. You feel like a younger brother. Ugher, younger brother. Aburka tilted his head to the side. Then he turned to look at me. Daddy. Me feeling like family should be a good thing, right? It's brimming with potential. It's not. You just got dumped so clearly that it couldn't be any clearer. Please note that you were just called a younger sibling, you were directly nailed as a younger brother. The fact that the Black Dragon Master kept complimenting me in front of you was a way of asking you to give up. Kid. How could you survive in this tough world of love while being so slow-witted? KRRR. The howls of beasts sounded from the jungle. The three of us immediately stopped chatting and turned our heads. Gore. It wasn't just one or two animals. The dark, dense jungle. Hundreds of pairs of eyes glittered like wild flowers blooming in the darkness. Some beasts looked like deer with horns on their heads that were bigger than their bodies. Some looked like serpents with gaping maws. You said there were a lot of evil spirits. Those are probably all of the spirits I defeated in the past. The beasts surrounded us. For a while, they prowled around us intimidatingly. Heavy breathing. Savage footsteps. Hundreds of beasts exhaled at the same time, and it felt like the air in the jungle became hotter. You guys, are you the dream demons? But Aburka and the Black Dragon Master were the type who had long since lost their cowardice. The Black Dragon Master treated the evil spirits like neighborhood dogs. We are the ones in charge of the races from the continent beyond the ocean. We are here to protest your act of unilateral aggression. In fact, I want to ask if you've lost your minds. Because you ate their dreams, many children have become dehydrated and malnourished. Their lives are on the brink. There are many children who have already died, and I believe that more will follow them. Call out your leader. I want to hear what you were thinking right now. The evil spirits turned their heads and looked at each other. It seemed they realized it wasn't possible to threaten us with numbers. I heard that you were guardian deities. As expected. You are no ordinary people, seeing that you can maintain your ego in our world. A large horned deer walked out from the crowd. As the deer stepped forward, the shadows from the leaves of the trees above spread like fish scales across its brilliant hide. Are you the king of the dream demons? That's a foolish question. We have no king. The deer turned to look at me. If you have no king, then what makes you qualified to come talk to us? Don't judge us by your common sense. You might think we're here now talking to you, but we're not. We're merely using your dreams and following your memories. The Black Dragon Master frowned. What are you talking about? We have no form. We have no appearance. Inevitably, there is no individuality. We can't use words you don't know, nor can we take the image of people you don't know. I thought of the 10 dream demons I'd beaten up so far. Their reactions were pretty vivid. And their tones were frivolous. All of the dream demons you met reflected your own feelings. If their tones were frivolous, it was because your tone is frivolous. If they didn't like being hit, it's because you don't like being hit. Stranger, we are nothing but mirrors. So they were all copying me? That is the case. I was shocked. That's impossible. I'm not frivolous. I'm a hunter with a reputation for being serious and cool. What is it? Why are you two looking at me like that? Nothing at all. Death King. I didn't say anything. Daddy. See that? My colleague and child agree with me. The deer opened his mouth as though it was watching an interesting sight. We have no interest in your reputation. Stranger. There is only one thing we are interested in, the near infinite dreams of your kind. So you're only interested in our dreams? Your dreams are exceptionally delicious. Crunch. The deer stomped on a centipede crawling across the jungle floor with its hoof and crushed it. The things that we've been eating until now are only the dreams of beasts. It's bland, like eating porridge. On the other hand, the colors of your people's dreams are endless. The deer licked its lips. Before we met you, we were like savages. With little intelligence, and poor memory. We didn't even know that another reality outside of our own existed, nor were we aware that we were a parasitic race that lived in the dreams of others. Thanks to your dreams, we were able to achieve rapid development. I understood what the dream demon was saying. Then shouldn't you be grateful to our children? Although it wasn't intentional, they helped you get smarter. We have already repaid them enough by giving them the happiest dreams. There's no point to that kind of happiness. They're all going to die. Happy dreams and a miserable reality. It seems you prefer the latter. The deer chuckled. The laughter from his animal vocal cords sounded very strange. However, your people, that we've met so far, seem to have a different idea. Why don't you wish for their happiness, stranger? Although that sounds plausible. But in the end, it sounds like you just want to keep eating delicious food. It's amazing that you can remain conscious in our world, but it's impossible for you to deal significant damage to us. And it's even more impossible to stop us. The deer had an unfriendly expression on its face. Don't worry, we have no intention of making your race extinct. After we cross the ocean, we will limit our consumption so that you can continue to go from generation to generation. However, your dreams are too enticing, so we might end up consuming a bit too much. Good. I understood completely. In other words, we cannot defeat you, so you'll just do whatever you want. That's one way to interpret it. In the first place, people only became humble after you put them in their place. I guess that principle was true even for dream demons who lived in the dream world. I'm glad you're so easy to understand. You talk as if you can defeat us. Right. I opened the civilization store. I don't know how amazing the dream world that you live in is, but... And purchased an item. Purchased person possession. 2,000 points have been deducted. You currently have 4,012 race points. Note, it should be 3,912. Although I look like this, I've already seen many worlds. Children. I can't wait to see what it's like to be a dream demon. With a grin, I looked at the deer. Use item. Person possession. Suddenly, a world of infinite dreams appeared before my eyes. Chapter 201. Reflection in the mirror, 3. What? There was nothing in front of my eyes except endless whiteness. The dream demon in my head, no, in my mind, also made a sound of confusion. It seemed even the dream demon had noticed something strange. What are you doing? Are you trying to break into our world? That's ridiculous. You don't have a terminal to connect you to us. How the hell? Scared? I snickered. I felt the dream demon freeze. I didn't have a mouth with which to smile, but my emotions and intentions of provoking the other were still transmitted clearly. Insolent. It seems that when you don't have confidence, your tongue becomes longer.
Ah.
Since you were a deer, I guess your tongue was long from the start. Note, having a long tongue equals talking a lot. For a species living in that filthy world, you are really arrogant. We have countless dreams in our world. I wonder if you'd even be able to maintain your sanity after taking a single step. So you're saying I can just go in? You can go wherever you want. Okay. I smiled inwardly. I'll take that as your agreement, guest. My vision, which had been completely white before, suddenly changed. My mind had been overlaid onto the dream demon's mind. Congratulations! You are the first foreigner to enter the world of dreams. You are the first to gain this achievement. You have been awarded 3,000 race points. And the world before my eyes was quite strange. The sky was pink. It was a color that gave me a sweet taste in my mouth just from looking at it. It was as if some transcendent being had carefully modeled the sky after the painting of an adventurous child. Hup! The pink invaded not just the sky but also my consciousness. My consciousness? No. I couldn't distinguish the outside of my consciousness from the inside. I had become my consciousness itself. My memories quickly began to fade. The things that made me, me. The steps that Kim Gongja had walked so far were slowly being erased. Like footsteps on a sandy beach being washed away by the tide. The pink waves were quickly eroding my memories. I could hear the sound of children's laughter from somewhere. An auditory hallucination. And a visual hallucination. Before I knew it, the sky turned from pink to yellow. The color of my mind also became yellow as well. The sky turned blue. And my consciousness also became blue. My very existence was transparent like water in a glass cup. And whenever a bit of color was added to the world, my water would turn red, yellow, blue. It was a world where fleeting moments carried on endlessly. This was the place where the dream demons lived. This is a bit dangerous. My past was gone. My memories fading. And as my past disappeared, the breadth of my movement narrowed, and my shadow faded as quickly as my fading memory. This chapter was originally shared via /n/o//vel/b/in. My consciousness felt blurred as though I'd been drugged. Now, all I could perceive was the present. It felt like I would lose my sense of self if I were to let down my guard for even a moment. If I were alone, I would have been helpless. But I wasn't the only one who contributed to my sense of self. Feeling a bit impatient, I hurriedly called out. 100 Ghosts Reincarnation. Suddenly, my shadow expanded. Your skill is being activated. My shadow was black. It wasn't translucent, it was just black. Pitch black, which did not allow any other color to appear within its influence, quickly spread out in all directions. Swoosh! The black swallowed the pink sky. It even devoured the yellow and the blue. My shadow became like tens of thousands of fingers that scratched the sky. And this sky, which had been scratched by the black claws, shed colorful blood. No. What the fuck? Note, Sherbal. From the place where the pink paint melted and dripped down, my ghosts and my memories were gradually retrieved bit by bit, and the characteristics that made up my existence were revealed one after the other. What kind of *T mess is this? Flame Emperor. A handsome man with a ponytail looked around moodily. Hungry Ghost. A girl, whose face was covered by a mask made of animal bones, looked up at the sky. There was a cool glint in her eyes. The hungry ghost was looking at this world like the corpse of a beast. No, I'll remake the tea immediately. I'm sorry, Duke. I will bring scented teeth that will make you feel like you've been reborn immediately. Huh? What the fuck is going on? What is this? The Lady of Golden Silk. A girl in a maid outfit raised her head sharply. She had been kneeling with her palms and forehead on the ground. For reference, the Lady of Golden Silk, Sylvia Evanale, was now working as a maid in our Duke's family. Raviol. It seemed that she had been summoned in the midst of being taken advantage of by our Duke. I'm happy you seem to be enjoying your life, my love. Where is this? Look over there. The colors in the sky are very strange. This is too amazing to even be called Shangri-La. Goodness me, the young master really knows how to find interesting places. Huh. The 4 demon lords. Elite members of the demonic cult dressed in fluttering black cloaks were summoned. The 4 demon lords marveled at the scenery of a different world. By the time their cloaks stopped rippling, the 1,000-strong army of the demonic cult was also summoned. Who? Finally, I let out a sigh. I was finally able to take a breath. Everyone, long time no see. The ghosts looked back at me, and I also looked at them. As our gazes crossed, distant memories returned. My memory had become clearer. The outline of my existence was more defined. To the Flame Emperor, I was an enemy. To the hungry ghost, I was a ruler. To the Lady of Golden Silk, I was the man of her love rival. To the cultists, I was the young cult master. My revenge, my duty, my love, and my responsibility. Everything was contained within the eyes of the ghosts. Just as they had become reincarnated ghosts because of me, I had also become the current Kim Gongja because of them. As long as they were here, I would never disappear. It's nice to see you all. Except for the fucking chimpanzee over there. Huh? Are you talking about me?
Yo. So? Ha!
Frowned. You bastard, you called me away when I was going to work, shouldn't you speak more nicely? He was wearing a brown apron. The apron had "The Planetarium Cafe" written on it. Together with Kim Yul, he was making significant contributions to attracting customers to the cafe run by the librarian, where he worked part-time.
Yo. So? Ha!
And Kim Yul both wore ponytails. One of them was an asshole who cursed with every sentence. The other was a silent cool guy. Their hair colors were also black and white, so they were called the twins. The regulars all thought it was worth drinking a cup of coffee every day if they could stare at them until they became addicted. Am I some kind of barber who comes to give you service whenever you call me?
Ha!
This bastard is starting to get bad habits. It's unfair that I couldn't even get to E rank while I was alive, but now I even have to suffer after death. Go dance over there. Fuck. On the other hand, while
Yo. So? Ha!
showed off his hip-hop skills, I explained the situation to the other ghosts.
Ha!
A race that lives by parasitizing dreams. How interesting. After hearing my explanation, the young lady stroked her chin thoughtfully. I couldn't help but wonder where the young lady, who was praised as the flower of imperial society, had disappeared to. But even though she was wearing a maid outfit, her face seemed to be shining. This place is a dream in a dream. It is a dream where the succubuses live their dreams over and over again. It's similar to being eroded by a constellation. Isn't it romantic? I'm sure you find it romantic, Butler. I'm the Duchess Butler, not yours. Hey, there's no need to sweat the small stuff, Butler. If you do that, you'll get hair loss. From my perspective, it seems like the butler might soon start to lose hair. I can feel it.
Ah.
I can just imagine. I can really imagine it. The sight of Duke Ivantia sighing while stroking the top of the butler's bald head. Right. You go dance over there too. Fuck. While the lady of golden silk performed a waltz beside.
Yo. So. Ha!
I continued to discuss the operation with the normal people. As the blonde maid pointed out, the characteristics of the dream demons are similar to those of constellations. The hungry ghost spoke. If we had to classify them, they wouldn't be combat-type constellations, but instead trait-type constellations. The kind that project their thoughts into reality and create a type of distortion. They are not beings we can use force to defeat. That means these kids can decide the rules on their own. That is correct, my lord. Clatter. The hungry ghost tapped her mask. In truth, dreams are the reproduction of experiences and the realization of desires. The act of dwelling on the past or grasping the future. Among these, I believe the latter would be more important for my lord. If my lord is able to fulfill those desires in a more satisfying manner than the dream demons, then you will naturally be able to repel this world. The hungry ghost closed her mouth. Then, a slightly bewildered look appeared in the eyes of the hungry ghost, who usually remained indifferent all year round. It wasn't just the hungry ghost that was confused. Tell me who I am. Pock. From the other side, a young lady riding a majestic chariot appeared. It wasn't horses, but people that pulled the chariot. Naked people. The young lady swung her whip excitedly. Now. Hurry. Why dash, you are the brightest moon in the empire, your majesty Empress Sylvia Evanale, whom everyone looks up to. Aha, that's so nice to listen to. But your voice isn't good at all. Try saying it in a more emotional voice. Praise me in a voice that's as soft as a wet mop.
Ah.
Benevolent and beautiful Empress. A little more. It was the Lady of Golden Silk. Or, to be precise, it was a dream being with the appearance of the Lady of Golden Silk. In unison, we turn our heads to look at the side. There, the Lady of Golden Silk was still showing off her waltz skills. That's not me. That's a fake illusion. It's a fabrication intended to instigate the ignorant. No. This is the world of dreams. In other words, that is your dream. That's not very nice, butler. I will file a complaint to the imperial court. Half of the nobles in the court support our Duke Ivantia. You know that, right? Damn it. So that's why she's so powerful. The Lady of Golden Silk somehow managed to pull off a triple axel in her maid uniform. Beside her, the Dream Lady of Golden Silk, so, the dream fragments that had been embodied by a dream demon, smiled as she whipped people. As expected of the world of dreams. It was confusing as hell.
Ah.
The hungry ghost finally regained her senses and spoke slowly. This. It seems that our dreams are also beginning to be reflected. That seems to be the case. This is a different world, my lord. The longer you stay here, the more distorted your knowledge and common sense will become. We need to find the core of this world as soon as possible, before we lose our minds. That way, the damage will hopefully be kept to a minimum. The hungry ghost was probably trying to say, before I lose my mind, but I fully agreed with her. Where is the core? Do you have any ideas? Specific locations seem to have little meaning in this place. Directions don't matter, it is the order and sequence that matter. To paraphrase one of the common games in my lord's world, it is linear progression, not sandbox type. If you endure the dreams that appear one after the other, eventually, you should be able to reach the dream demon's first dream, at least. I think so. There was a reason why the hungry ghost's words stuttered at the end. Sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
The signature cocktail you ordered is here. It's not that good, is it? I could probably order this at a normal bar. I'm sorry. I deserve to die 100 times for defiling the great sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
Noble taste buds. No, well. That's not necessary. As expected of sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
The riper a rice stalk becomes, the lower it bows its head asterisk, but no stalk of rice can compare to sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
Asterisk, basically the wiser a person is, the more humble they are. Hey. That's an exaggeration. I'm sorry. I'll stop. But I was only telling the truth. Well. Since you're so honest, it can't be helped. The figure of
Yo. So. Ha!
Which had been embodied in the dream world, was walking in a sweatshirt and sweatpants. And behind
Yo. So. Ha!
Was an endless line of gentlemen dressed in fancy suits. Sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
This is the new watch our brand is planning to release. It would truly be a great honor on us ignorant people if sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
Were to put this piece of garbage on your noble wrist. Ha! It's nothing special. Well, I'll use it for you. But I'll only use it for 2 days before throwing it away. I will remember those 2 days for the next 1,000 years. Sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
We've gathered all the famous chefs in the tower and prepared a full course meal for you. If sir.
Yo. So. Ha!
Mouth were to enjoy any of these dishes even a little bit. You're so noisy. Just bring it here. He told me I'm noisy. I'm touched. In the distance, the sky shone pink. We all quietly turned to look at the real.
Yo. So. Ha! Yo. So. Ha!
Swallowed slightly before finally seeming to find his tongue. What are you looking at? Fuck. Are you guys any better than me? My lord. The hungry ghost spoke up. The eyes behind her mask became serious. I looked into those eyes that said she didn't want to be treated like the other ghosts. I beg you, if you need to take someone under your command, please filter them multiple times before finally accepting them. For some reason, I felt sorry for her. Chapter 202. Black Dragon 1. We headed to the heart of the world of dreams. Ahaha. Come on, worship this empress. Behind us, the succubus, who was still imitating the lady of golden silk, swung her whip, but we tried to ignore her as we passed by. No one in our party wanted to get involved with something like that. After walking for a while, we arrived before a strange scene. Firstly, the sky above our heads became very strange. The moon has eyes, my lord. I know. Blink. The moon blinked. As the hungry ghost said, the full moon had eyes. Red eyes. The moon's red eyes looked down at us. It's a bit strange, but the eyes are beautiful. It makes me want to look at them all the time. For some reason, my heart was pounding. The hungry ghost's expression changed slightly when she saw my reaction. I think it might be influencing my lord's subconscious. Perhaps it might have copied the lady's eyes, note, the lady being the wife of the lord. Huh? Is that so? Now that I thought about it, they did look like Raviol's eyes. I couldn't believe it had almost stolen my heart just by using her eyes. As expected of my Duke. From her head to her toes, there was no part of her that wasn't alluring. The next scene we encountered was from the hungry ghost. Beneath the red-eyed moon, fields of yellow wheat stretched. In the fields of wheat, farmers toiled with bent waists. The hungry ghost expression became noticeably stiff. I immediately realized what this was a copy of. This is Estelle's village. Yes. That's right. The village that had been devastated by the Aegean Empire and the Allied forces. The fields of wheat that the child I saw in the hungry ghost's trauma used to play in. Spirit. Spirit. Something lay among the yellow wheat. A giant beast. The blue-furred beast, a wolf to be precise, opened its eyes to look at the approaching children. We have a present for you. We picked only the pretty ones to make it. The village children lifted the flower wreath they made for the wolf. However, the wolf's head was too big for the wreath to fit. The children were unsure of what to do for a while before finally settling for hanging the wreath around the wolf's ear. And so, the wolf suddenly obtained a flower earring. GRRNG. Apparently satisfied, the wolf carried the children on her back. The wind blew, shaking the wheat in the fields, and carrying the children's laughter. The sound of the laughter filled the wind with happiness. That beast is my dream, the hungry ghost murmured. If I hadn't eaten Estelle. So if I hadn't become human and continued being a beast, this might have happened. Then, I wouldn't have been revered as a saint, nor would I have been cursed as a witch after becoming Estelle. And the village wouldn't have been destroyed by fire. The hungry ghost's voice was calm. It's foolish. She quietly gripped the hilt of her sword. If I hadn't devoured a human, I wouldn't have been able to understand the human heart. I'm a part of a race who only understands the prey we consume and digest. If I hadn't eaten Estelle, I wouldn't have gained human desires. The scene out there is filled with contradictions. The hungry ghost began to walk to the wheat fields. The wolf, who was still carrying the children, stopped. They had a silent confrontation. The doppelganger looked at her copy with cold eyes. Break. She drew her sword and slashed out. As soon as it was cut by the hungry ghost's sword, the wolf melted into pink paint. Even the children who were smilingly riding on its back, the farmers working in the wheat fields, and the village in the background melted away in an instant. Who? The only thing that was left was the hungry ghost standing beneath the red moon. The hungry ghost slowly turned her head and looked at me. Let us be on our way, my lord. You're firm. Nevertheless, that scene probably depicted your happiness. With all due respect, my life is not so light that I would be interested in such contradictory delusions. My memories of devouring Estelle's flesh and drinking her blood are still clear in my mind, so how can I dream about anything else? I nodded. Right. You're right. We continued our journey. Along the way, we encountered the dreams of the cult members and the dreams of Aberka. The Aberka in the world of dreams crushed me while shouting Ugger. It seemed that since Aberka was also in contact with the dream demons, his dreams were being reflected in the world of dreams. Is the core of the world still far away? No. We're almost there. The hungry ghost kicked the Aberka to the side and pointed ahead. I can feel a presence similar to a constellation over there. A place surrounded by an iron fence topped with barbed wire. A dream demon was sitting in front of the iron fence. The dream demon tilted her head to the side with a You really managed to maintain your sanity in this place. How strange. This succubus had a familiar face. She looked much smaller and weaker than I knew, but it was still easy to tell who she was. Black Dragon Master? MHM. That's what it's called. This human. She looked around 7 or 8 years old. The Black Dragon Master, who looked much younger now, stood up. We don't naturally have our own faces. So I'll borrow the face of an animal so that we can talk. This child is the only one you can talk to calmly, even though you seem to value them. What do you mean? I mean you won't easily get caught up in your emotions. It's simple. The dream demon looked over my shoulder.
Yo. So? Ha!
The hungry ghost, the lady of golden silk, the 4 demon lords, and the cult members that were following me. There are a lot of guests, but I have no tea to serve. Sorry. But I hope you can understand my situation. Why did you bring so many troops to a shabby place like this with nothing to plunder? It is you, not us, that are trying to plunder. Don't you think? You are crossing the ocean to invade. It is natural for wild beasts to become ferocious at the scent of blood. In that sense, it is also natural for the strong to beat up the weak, so it would be smarter for you to listen to me. How scary. Would you like me to scare you more? Rumble. I approached the dream demon with the army behind me. I think you are looking down on me because physical force doesn't work well here. Humph. And so? If conversation won't work on you, then I'll have no choice but to use another method. How interesting. The young succubus smiled. I'd appreciate it if you could tell me what that is. I have a skill that allows me to bring the dead back to life. I will kill you all and bring you back. I summoned the 100 Ghosts Reincarnation card. The gold card glittered above my hand. Those who are killed by me are forced to obey my orders after being revived. It wouldn't be difficult for me to subjugate all of the dream demons. Do you think it's a bluff? I looked right into the eyes of the succubus in front of me. I had already wiped out the evangelist of everlasting happiness before. I didn't have any problem doing it again. The smile disappeared from the corners of the dream demon's lips. No. I don't doubt your sincerity. Because you, Death King, are a scary person. The succubus looked me in the eyes and shook her head. I just find it regrettable. Regrettable? What are you talking about? Exactly that, it's not from me, but the original feel of this animal's body. After all, the way you are trying to persuade us is also with the logic of force. Suddenly, we heard gunshots from the other side of the fence. My lord! Young cult master! The hungry ghost and the 4 demon lords surrounded me in an instant. But there was nothing wrong with me. It also didn't seem like the hungry ghost or the 4 demon lords were injured either. The succubus giggled at our actions. Don't worry. By your definition, this is also a dream. Gunshots continued to ring out from behind the fence. When I looked in that direction, I saw a man and a child running. Like they were being chased by someone. How deep the mark a single experience can leave on you is. The more I learn, the more surprised I get. The man kept looking back. But he kept covering the child with his body, as if he didn't want the child to look behind them. The bearded man whispered to the child. Don't ever look back. Do you understand? Ing. I realized after hearing the child's voice that it was a young black dragon master. The man and child alike had stains on their bodies and clothes like they hadn't washed for a long time. Muddy water had soaked the bottom of their clothes and hardened. With heavy steps, the man and child continued running away. When I was 7 years old. I remembered the story the Black Dragon Master told me in the past. In the outside world, my father died in a civil war. There was a narrow opening in the iron fence. The man pushed the child through the opening first. The gunshots were coming closer and closer. I was running away with my parents, but I think soldiers were chasing us. My father stayed behind. The child screamed as she fell through the opening in the fence. Dad! Dad! Don't look back. Go first. Dad will follow you. The man pushed the child again. The child continued to scream, but she listened to her father's words and moved her feet. I really continued to run without looking back. After that, the man disappeared from the Black Dragon Master's memory. However, at the end, I heard something fall behind the Black Dragon Master. Following that sound, the iron fence disappeared. I could guess what that sound was. The man probably tried to climb over the fence topped with barbed wire after sending the child away. Then he was struck by a bullet, died instantly, and fell to the ground. That sound was probably the last thing the Black Dragon Master remembered. No matter how strong you are, you can't undo the irreversible. The succubus spoke in a calm tone. Therefore, the best policy is to prevent the situation in advance. You have to constantly prepare for the worst. That's what this original body thought. Every time it meets someone, it has the habit of imagining that person's death. It's pitiful. You don't have to tell me that, I know. Then do you know this original body has prevented 8 abductions and assassinations against you? What? I looked at the dream demon in surprise. You've grown very quickly. So it's natural for a lot of people to be interested in you. The original body prevented and destroyed as much of it as possible, but the tower contains spies from all over the world. If you're not strong enough, you can't even protect your life and the lives of those around you. Crack. The moon in the sky above the world of dreams cracked. Then the red moon shattered into countless pieces. Death King. Since you are the stronger person, I will lower my head for now. I will order those who are sailing across the ocean to return. But you can't stay on the continent overlooking the 7 races forever, can you? The ground beneath us became soft before turning into a pink sea. Splash, splash. Pieces of the moon fell into the sea one after the other. You have only suppressed us for now. We haven't truly been convinced by you. That is what coercion by force is. A tsunami started from the place where the moon fell. The moment the wave hit us, the succubus shape also began to melt. I'll see you next time. Death King. And the world of dreams collapsed. Death King? Are you okay, Junior? I suddenly regained consciousness. The Black Dragon Master was looking at me with an anxious expression. Senior? That's good. The light in your eyes is back. I looked around. We weren't in the jungle scene of a Burka's dream. Instead, I was lying in the square of the port town. The dream demons. They suddenly left the dream right after you talked to the deer. What happened? Did you successfully persuade them, or did you? For now, it was a success. As if to prove my words, the people laying in the town square began to wake up one after the other. Perhaps because they were just waking up from their dreams, their movements were sluggish, but fortunately, their lives didn't seem to be in danger.
Ha!
The Black Dragon Master let out a long sigh of relief. Good job. I don't care how you did it. Senior. I grabbed the Black Dragon Master's wrist. The Black Dragon Master tilted her head to the side as she looked at me. I have something to tell you. Why do you look so serious all of a sudden? Because I am serious. A strange silence passed between us for a moment. I gathered my breath. Then, I looked straight into the Black Dragon Master's eyes and opened my mouth. Senior. I am a regressor. Chapter 203. Black Dragon 2. What? The Black Dragon Master blinked. The leader of the tower's top guild slowly lowered her eyelids before raising them up again. Slowly. The entire action literally took a full second. Then, she furrowed her brows. Returner? What are you talking about? I've been thinking about it for a long time. Senior crossed the Aegean Empire with me. It would have been easier if I had revealed my identity back then, but at that time, I didn't completely trust Senior yet. So I hid it until now. The more I said, the heavier Black Dragon Master's expression became. It was clear to her now that I wasn't telling a joke. Senior always said, "You don't know where this rookie who doesn't seem like a rookie appeared from. That I'm like an old fox despite my age." Senior was right. I'm not a rookie. I summoned a skill card. Skill card open. Golden light shined. I flipped the golden card in my hand and showed it to the Black Dragon Master. Plus. Returner's Clockwork Watch. Rank EX. Effect, activates automatically upon death. Returns to 24 hours before death. Even after returning, all memories and stats are retained. However, the higher the hunter's rank, the more the penalty will increase. This skill was copied from Hunter.
Yo. So?
Ha. Plus. Wait a minute. The Black Dragon Master stretched out her left hand and grabbed my hand, which was holding the card. Her hand covered the skill card, so the Black Dragon Master was unable to see its description. The Black Dragon Master herself was blocking the skill that I wanted to show her. Don't. Dark eyes. Her dark eyes, which resembled a bottomless well, somehow looked desperate at that moment. She was looking at me with an urgent expression. Beyond those eyes, at the very bottom of the well, a ripple appeared in the pool of water. Note, a bottomless well. Don't do this. Please. There was a faint tremor in her voice. I don't know what you're talking about. However, I know what would happen if I were to listen to it. There's a line between people that should never be crossed. No matter how familiar you are, no matter how close you are, that line should never be crossed. The Black Dragon Master spoke naturally as though she'd predicted that this would happen a long time ago. This naturalness probably came from her many past experiences. Don't tell me your secret. Don't share it. If you were to reveal your secret now, we will cross the point of no return. When we begin to rely on each other too much, it's no longer reliance, it's dependence. I know. I know that too. You and I are good friends. Reliable comrades. You shouldn't expect more than this in your relationships with people. I take care of my work, and you take care of your life. Wouldn't that be best? The Black Dragon Master was basically asking my consent. Her serious words made me ponder again. It was always difficult to decide what kind of relationship you wanted to have with someone. Soon, I came to a conclusion. Then listen to me first and then decide. It will be too late then. It won't. I can return. Even if we talk now, I can make it so that this never happened. I have that ability. The Black Dragon Master fell silent. In the port town square, the people who were gradually waking up began to look around. The residents groaned and stretched, expelling the poisonous chi that accumulated in their bodies due to sleeping for too long. Wah. The sounds of yawns could be heard from all around us. Let's not talk about it here. The Black Dragon Master, who was still holding my hand, muttered. Transfer. The next moment, we were out of the square. The town pier. The ships tied to the dock creaked as they were pushed by the waves. Almost as if they were responding to the ship's cacophony, for a moment all we could hear was the roar of the waves. Fine. All right. As if she'd finally made up her mind, the Black Dragon Master nodded. I'll listen to what you have to say first. But we can't talk about this sober. The Black Dragon Master waved her hand and a black vortex appeared in the air. It was as if she'd opened a portal to a pitch-black abyss. The Black Dragon Master stuck her hand into it without hesitation. And after a while, pulled her hand out with a wine bottle in her grip. I was a bit surprised. Is that a skill? Item storage. Although the storage space is limited, there is no better skill than this when it comes to killing people and destroying the evidence. The Black Dragon Master said those words casually before taking 2 glasses from the vortex. You should be honored. Not many people know I have this skill. You're also the first living hunter to see it, Death King. I took the glass from the Black Dragon Master. For a while, we only quietly emptied the bottle. Before I began to sober up, I opened my mouth. I am a returner. Then, I started talking again. I don't know where to start. I have a skill that allows me to turn back time. To be precise, it allows me to go back 24 hours when I die. Thanks to this, I was able to overcome many difficulties. The 10th floor. 20th floor. I used my regression skill to survive all of them. I showed Black Dragon Master the skill card. This time, she didn't avert her gaze. I see. However, she then let out a soft sigh. As if she'd found the final puzzle piece that she'd been looking for a long time. You suspected something? Kind of. At the very least, I knew that prophet was a lie. The Black Dragon Master lifted her cup. No matter how you look at it, it just felt like a convenient excuse. I've been watching you from the side for a long time. You never did what you already know. You always fought like every battle was your last. Right. You didn't know the future, you were going back to the past. She turned to look at me again. I would like to ask you something. Please ask. The battle on the 11th floor. It felt like she was about to say something she'd doubted for a long time. On the 11th floor, our tower experienced our first group battle. Everyone was so excited about clearing the 10th floor, which we had been stuck on for years, that we jumped into the 11th floor. There, we fought the Devil King's army. Do you remember? Yes. At that time, miraculously, not a single hunter lost their life. Some people got hurt, but no one died. So. The Black Dragon Master hesitated for a long time. By chance. Yes. Did you return at that time? Yes. Until there were no casualties? Yes. The Black Dragon Master closed her mouth. The well within her eyes seemed to become a bit lighter. How many times? A lot. 10 times? I went. Probably a bit more than that. The 12th floor too? It continued after that. It was always like that until I met Raviel. The Black Dragon Master began to breathe a bit faster. Why? Going so far? There was no reason for you to do that. I didn't do it because I'm a good person. If I had gone up to the 11th floor on my own, I would have needed to redo it dozens or hundreds of times. You were also one of the reasons why I returned. I looked into the Black Dragon Master's eyes. Every time the number of people who died on a stage decreased, the Black Dragon Master would smile a bit more. It was something she couldn't remember. Before that, I'd never seen the Black Dragon Master smile even slightly. While they weren't bright smiles, they were still smiles filled with happiness. During a raid, when the hunters died by the hundreds, you carried out your duties with a rigid and emotionless attitude. The Black Dragon Master changed a lot when the casualties dropped to double digits. I was the only one who could remember her transformation. Oh my God! Less than 40 hunters probably died. This is unbelievable. It shouldn't be possible. On a battlefield like this. A smile that blossomed like a tightly closed flower bud spreading its petals. I could still remember that moment vividly. When I saw it, I thought it was really beautiful. It made me happy. It was the first time I realized I could make someone smile. I smiled. Thanks, Black Dragon Master. Senior. Why? Thanks to Senior, I was able to walk a path that I would never have been able to walk on my own. I now know about loving life. I'm with someone I love. Even if it wasn't your intention, I was able to step onto this path because of the smile you showed me that day. I wanted to say this. I wanted to tell her. Senior, you are someone who helped me get this strength. You are not alone. Even if Senior worries about saying
goodbye
to every person you meet, you don't have to worry about me. Since I have the ability to go back one day upon death, I'll be fine. I won't die. You don't have to stop the assassinations against me. You don't have to worry about what will happen if you don't stop them. I'm here, and I'll keep being here as long as you let me. It's fine even if we fail. Saying something like that. You don't have to be afraid of failure anymore. You can do whatever you want to achieve. Even if something goes wrong, I can give you another chance. Don't say that. The Black Dragon Master was afraid. I already knew what she feared the most. Even when we got drunk with the Crusader, the Black Dragon Master had been muttering. Don't be late. Death King. You can't always be late. An irreversible situation. That was what the Black Dragon Master was most afraid of. So, I decided to give her the sincerest gift I could. I said the one thing that only I could say. You can be a little late sometimes. The Black Dragon Master paused as if she had been stabbed. As long as I am by your side, nothing is irreversible. Anything can be redone. So it's fine to take more chances and gamble, Senior. Senior deserves it. The wind from across the ocean swept the Black Dragon Master's hair. Senior is much more skilled than I am. You started your own business and you manage an entire organization. You rule over the entire tower. That is a talent I don't have. Likewise, the talent to start over was only given to me by chance instead of you, Senior. My dear best friend. We can do a lot more if it's the two of us. I didn't want to see her shedding tears. So I lowered my head and took the Black Dragon Master's hand. I'm already dependent on Senior, so please depend on me too. You, really? The Black Dragon Master swallowed her words. You're a bad person. Why are you saying all of this after saying that you can make it so this conversation never happened? That. You're saying it's okay, since if you die and go back one day our conversation will disappear. Would you kill yourself to make this conversation go away? Yes. Crazy guy. The Black Dragon Master held my hand. Crazy guy. She murmured again. You'll see. I'll use it till you're sick of it. What was it? Returner? How dare you share such an ability with me without being scared? You really don't know how crazy the leader of the Black Dragon Guild is. You'll see. Crazy guy. Crazy bastard. I waited for the Black Dragon Master's trembling to subside. After some time passed, Black Dragon Master spoke in a much calmer voice. Anastasia. That's my real name. Kim Gongja. I slowly lifted my head. The Black Dragon Master had a thin smile on her face. I'll make sure to use it properly, so be prepared for the future. Yes. I also let out a genuine laugh. Senior Anastasia. Note, Anastasia Sunbay. The people climbing the tower. Among them, I found a comrade with whom to share my secret for the first time. Chapter 204. Black Dragon, 3. For some reason, I thought it would be something like this. As the sound of the crashing waves became familiar and calming, the Black Dragon Master stretched with a relaxed expression on her face. Well, I thought something like this would happen with you. Huh. Really? MHM. As soon as I look at a person's face, I usually have a feeling. How close I will get to this person, and how much I will get to know them. I haven't been wrong once since I was 25. That's amazing. It all comes down to experience. The Black Dragon Master snorted. You tend to learn a lot about human perseverance when your expectations of failure tend to repeat themselves. By the way. I'd prefer it if you kept calling me by my title instead of my name in front of the others. Would that be a problem? It wouldn't be a problem, but... Why? Why? Because it's embarrassing to have my real name called in front of others. Despite saying that, her face showed no signs of embarrassment. You should also refrain from calling me Senior. It makes chills run down my spine. I really hate showing off my personal relationships to people. No. Well. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but... Would it be embarrassing if I said it when it's just the both of us? That's a philosophical difference. Fine. Our opinions split pretty quickly. The Black Dragon Master nodded to herself before taking something out of her item storage skill. It was a cube covered in several round dots. It was a die, a prop used in gambling all over the world. Mr. Kim Gongja. The Black Dragon Master looked at me with a serious gaze. What is it? You're making me nervous. Please make and sign a friendship contract with me. Huh? What was this about a contract? I believe that a proper relationship between people should be documented. The Black Dragon Master looked proud. Humans are prone to making mistakes. Whether it's because they stayed up all night or they worked for 20 days straight, it's possible for their minds to crack at least once. No. Even if there is no underlying problem, if they were to bottle up their emotions for 5 or 10 years, it would become a problem. So in order to prevent any accidents, a contract must be written. It's a must if you want to have a strong and healthy relationship. What was she talking about? Really, what the hell was she talking about? Of course, the agreement must be made by both of us. Neither side can force it. As the first clause of our contract, I would like to write, in the case of differing opinions, we will follow the will of the person who got the highest number after throwing the dice. What do you think? Indeed. Bei Hurayang, who had been silent all this while, stuck his nose in. I understand now. Zombie, you became friends with a really troublesome girl. I was dumbfounded. I had never met someone like this in my entire life. You dash. Maybe that would be okay? Take this seriously. The Black Dragon Master got angry. But why? People who don't know anything think that friendship is about being honest without question, but that's not true. Such relationships are only possible if, by chance, you happen to get along very well. If you want to maintain a relationship, you have to use your head. Right, your noggin. Friendships can only work if you use your head well. That's true, but is the contract really necessary? If someone breaks the contract, then you can immediately stop being friends, so it's convenient. What was going on? I was confused. It felt like the concept of friendship that I'd known and lived for was now being shaken. If you have a limp attitude, then you will only have limp relationships. Kim Gongja. If you're going to start something, then you should build a solid foundation from the start. Either agree to the terms quickly, or argue against them with proper logic. In the end, I used a part of my brain that I don't normally use and thought long and hard. As a result, our friendship contract started with a very historic first sentence. Plus. Friendship contract. This contract was concluded when the request of Anastasia Zelensky, hereinafter referred to as A, was accepted by Kim Gongja, hereinafter referred to as C. A does not trust the validity period of human emotions, so she is confident in the belief that a firm attitude and diligent intelligence will be the foundation for the two parties to stand on. As such, A and C pledge to the following. 1. All promises are only valid if both parties agree. 2. All promises can be abrogated if both parties agree. 3. However, the establishment or abrogation of a promise can only be carried out during the weekend, i.e. Saturday or Sunday. 4. If there is a difference of opinion between the two parties, they will roll the dice and follow the opinion of whomever rolls the highest number. Signed, Anastasia Zelensky, signature. Signed, Kim Gongja, signature. Plus. I looked down at the contract with a blank expression. Was this really for the best? What are you doing? Come on, stamp it. The Black Dragon Master urged. She was a bit scary. To be honest, I don't have a stamp. You have fingers. You can use your fingerprint. That's right. My fingerprint. As I was stamping a red fingerprint with my thumb, the thought that popped into my mind was, I'm glad she didn't suggest writing a pact in blood. During the past half hour, I was able to get a really good understanding of the Black Dragon Master's personality. Good. The Black Dragon Master inspected the contract with a satisfied expression. This isn't too bad of a start. Well, we can revise it in our 2nd or 6th year. This will have to do for now. There's still more after this. Kim Gongja. The Black Dragon Master spoke in a soft tone. You shouldn't underestimate human spinelessness. In the first place, hairless beasts could transform into different humans in just 6 months. This statement was said with great conviction. Daddy. Daddy's comrade. A familiar voice sounded in my ears as I looked at the first friendship contract I'd ever signed. My son, Aberka, was running towards the pier. Where did you two disappear to? I've been looking for you for a long time. Sorry. Just now Before I could finish talking, the Black Dragon Master's boot landed on my instep. Ohukuhuk. The sound that came out of my throat as the pain shot up my leg was quite splendid. This wasn't a level of skill that could be acquired just by stepping on 1 or 2 feet. I had something to talk about with the Black Dragon Master. Right. Death King and I needed to have a private conversation. The Black Dragon Master smiled softly. Your father and I have a special relationship now. Aberka froze. Special relationship? MHM. You could even say we are the only ones for each other. Only ones. How shameful. I'm saying such things in front of a child. In any case, the two of us are finished talking now. What did you come here for? The townspeople, everyone woke up, it seems that the problem has been solved completely. I came to look for you, to report that. Aberka muttered softly before suddenly turning to look at me. His glare was particularly menacing. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, demands an explanation. No. You're misunderstanding. She's just using me to kick you away. Daddy, is what she just said true? Death King. Was there anything wrong with what I said? My son and best friend turned to look at me at the same time. Even after countless deaths, this was my first time facing such a situation. I was trapped between refusing to support my son's first love or a friendship where we understood each other's hearts. Son. Say it, Daddy. The Black Dragon Master and your father. I gulped. Really do have a special relationship. Aberka's expression crumpled. Silence. The hobgoblin's thick lips twitched, and his long eyelashes trembled. I really hate you, Daddy. Aberka ran away after leaving those lines fit for a teenage boy. His footwork while using aura was truly amazing. In an instant, Aberka disappeared over the horizon, leaving nothing but chicken poop tears, behind. It was the moment when the first love he'd developed in hundreds of years came to a disastrous end. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven, is badly hurt. The constellation, the musclehead who dreams of sinning against heaven's distrust in humans increases. I was frustrated. No. Aberka, son. Your father will only have one person in his heart till death. How could you have such a misunderstanding? You'd understand if you tried to talk even a little. Thanks. As soon as Aberka disappeared, the Black Dragon Master's expression became calm again. She gracefully swept her hair behind her ear with the back of her hand. Thanks to you, that troublesome child left. If I get a troublesome child like that in the future, I'll ask for your help often, Kim Gongja. I'm your friend, but aren't you too comfortable after using me? What are you talking about? Really? The Black Dragon Master smiled brightly. I'm able to be comfortable after using you because you're my friend. This was my third time seeing that smile. Perhaps I'd be able to see it countless times from now on. I'll tell you about what happened after. You're wrong. A 7-year-old Anastasia looked at me. The world of dreams. The sleeping pioneers of the new continent were all awake by now. The sailors who had left to cross the ocean once again had returned safely, except for a few unfortunate victims. Because of that, the Black Dragon Master and I had to spend a lot of race points. Note, author put civilization points here. For now, I changed it since I think it was a mistake, but if something like civilization points are added later, I'll fix it. I came back to tell you that. Once the situation was handled, I chose to re-enter the world of dreams. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The young succubus responded in a blunt tone. The iron fence stood behind the dream demon like last time. An old iron fence with broken barbed wire. The remnants of a civil war. The dream demon's parasitized scars like this. The first time we met, you said something. That whenever Anastasia met someone, she had a habit of imagining that person's death. That the best policy was to prevent situations in advance, and to constantly prepare for the worst. Right. But I became an exception for Senior. Gunshots rang out. You will see it too. A man was running towards the fence while holding a child's hand. It was almost like watching a broken videotape that could only play the same clip over and over again. In this world of broken images, I spoke quietly. You just know Senior, you can't change her. That's your natural limit. You guys are a race that only lives on the trauma of the past. I overpowered you with my strength. You guys only backed down because I had more power than you did. But you were wrong to think that our relationships in the world are only based on power. What are you trying to say? I'm saying don't mess with me. You brats. I released my red aura. The pink-tainted world became a bit darker. Startled, the dream demon shuffled backwards. You can talk as much as you want. You make it seem as if you can rule the world as long as you have power and logic. But the world isn't so thin that it would be cut by your scissors. By your wording, everything under this sky is a power. I filled my finger with aura. Subduing people is a power. Convincing people is a power. Therefore, sharing a past with someone and walking forward with them is also a power. You are capable of recreating someone's past in a dream, but beyond that you are just incompetent. You will never be able to change, Senior. I did. You are more incompetent than me, you're weaker than me, and in the end, you were ultimately defeated by me. I waved my hand. My aura split the space apart. The iron fence snapped, instantly becoming a pink bubble before finally disappearing. The man and the woman, who were trying to escape through the narrow exit, also melted. I wonder if you'll become a bit more competent when I return in the next era. If I give you hundreds of years and you still repeat the same thing over and over again, well, I'll have no choice but to turn back time and wipe you out. It was a simple task. I would just be adding the dream demons to my 100 ghosts. I got to my feet. Even so, how many people can you find? The dream demon stared at me. One person? 2? Maybe 10 people, maybe 20, or maybe 100. Even if you do, that number is only a handful of dust in our world. So what's the point? I snorted. If you're worried about the number, then maybe this will help you figure it out. I spread my aura and cut off my surroundings from the world of dreams. If my master was here, she would probably be able to cover the entire world, but that level was still out of reach. The best I could do was make an area my own. Quest clear. And best seemed to be enough for this stage. Just before leaving the world of dreams, I took one last look at the dream demon. The young black dragon master was biting her lips as if she was angry. I look forward to the next time we meet. Declare stage clear. After murmuring this in my mind, a bright light covered my eyes. Stage clear. You have cleared the 35th floor. Your compensation will be settled after entering the 36th floor. Chain layers in progress. You will be sent directly to the 36th floor. To the place where my best friend was. Chapter 205. Easter Egg 1. I had one incredibly important task. It had nothing to do with attacking the tower, but it was something that I absolutely had to do before I moved on. I spoke with a resolute expression. I would like Raviel to meet a burqa. Immediately after clearing the 35th floor. We were all summoned to the completely white space once again. While my colleagues were talking amongst each other, I made a request of the constellation, the lady who walks through the mirage. No, I have to introduce them. I've put it off until now, but I can't put it off any longer. The lady stroked her chin. Really? Yes. Even though they aren't really my children, I still think of the goblins as my children. And since we're husband and wife, it is something that Raviel needs to know, and it's something that I need to tell her. I understand Death King's personal situation, but you all are currently attacking a chain from the 30th floor. Inhabitants who are not participating in the attack cannot enter other floors. Can't you bring Raviel here for a moment? No. The lady made an X with her arms. The silver heart didn't participate in the attack. Besides, she's not even a part of your tower yet. I can't bring her here. It seemed that Silver Heart was an abbreviated form of silver-plated heart. This constellation. She really had a habit of calling people by nicknames. Why? We already cleared Raviol's stage. How should I explain this? You can think of the Silver Heart as a foreigner without a visa. There are places that you can enter without a visa, but there are also places that you can't, right? It's the same thing. If they are from the 30th floor or lower, then they can't be brought here. That is a rule of the tower. Even if you have complaints, there isn't much I can do about it. I thought about it. Then what if a burqa and I stopped by Raviol's world for a bit? That would be difficult too. That broken-hearted pig is a constellation. He has the authority to visit other floors, but I had one incredibly important task. It had nothing to do with attacking the tower, but it was something that I absolutely had to do before I moved on. I spoke with a resolute expression. I would like Raviol to meet a burqa. Immediately after clearing the 35th floor, we were all summoned to the completely white space once again. While my colleagues were talking amongst each other, I made a request of the constellation, the lady who walks through the mirage. No, I have to introduce them. I've put it off until now, but I can't put it off any longer. The lady stroked her chin. Really? Yes. Even though they aren't really my children, I still think of the goblins as my children. And since we're husband and wife, it is something that Raviol needs to know, and it's something that I need to tell her. I understand Death King's personal situation, but you all are currently attacking a chain from the 30th floor. Inhabitants who are not participating in the attack cannot enter other floors. Can't you bring Raviol here for a moment? No. The lady made an X with her arms. The Silver Heart didn't participate in the attack. Besides, she's not even a part of your tower yet. I can't bring her here. It seemed that Silver Heart was an abbreviated form of silver-plated heart. This constellation. She really had a habit of calling people by nicknames. Why? We already cleared Raviol's stage. How should I explain this? You can think of the Silver Heart as a foreigner without a visa. There are places that you can enter without a visa, but there are also places that you can't, right? It's the same thing. If they are from the 30th floor or lower, then they can't be brought here. That is a rule of the tower. Even if you have complaints, there isn't much I can do about it. I thought about it. Then what if a burqa and I stopped by Raviol's world for a bit? That would be difficult too. That broken-hearted pig is a constellation. He has the authority to visit other floors, but the lady nodded. If that's the case, then I should be able to convince the top brass in the tower. The tower master thinks that motherly love, parental duty, and stuff like that are incredibly important. Hang on. The lady closed her eyes. The lady's bangs floated into the air like an antenna. The bangs then began to sway from side to side. Was she communicating? Like that? Communication complete. The lady opened her eyes. I've been given permission to accept Death King's proposal.
Oh.
However, you're not allowed to meet in the world Raviol was born in. You can only meet on the 29th floor. Death King, Aburka, and Raviol, you three are only allowed to meet on the 29th floor. I tilted my head at the lady's words. Thank you for listening to me, but, why only the 29th floor? The 29th floor was no ordinary floor. It was none other than Kim Yol's stage. It was made up of the Shinseo Middle High School and the surrounding commercial district. It's not even a real world. That was right. The librarian even called it Ascending Cities, side story. The city was merely an embodiment of a fantasy because it was not a part of the real history of our world. It had no special resources, and no unique tourist attractions. Was there a special reason why we could only meet on the 29th floor? Sorry. The lady suddenly became expressionless. I can't tell you the reason. The determination on her face was obvious. I owe the Death King. I have debts. So if possible, I'd like to accept all of Death King's requests. But this I can't. I will admit that the broken-hearted pig deserves to be a constellation. If the Death King agrees to be a responsible guardian, I'll allow him to go to the 29th floor. Isn't that good enough as a reward? I nodded slowly. There is some secret on the 29th floor. But I wouldn't forcefully ask when she rejected so firmly. The lady was my friend. There was no reason to push the pillar that liked me. I already got what I want. I freed a burqa from years of waiting. And I was given the chance to introduce a burqa to Raviel. Having achieved both of my objectives, there was no need for me to be greedy. However, it was a secret that made even one of the pillars serious. What could it be? I suppressed the curiosity within me and opened my mouth. Yes. That reward is enough. Great. Sorry to the kids that are on the 29th floor now, but you guys have to leave. The constellation, the lady who walks through the mirage, has temporarily taken over the management of the 29th floor. The constellation, the lady who walks through the mirage, has removed all hunters from the 29th floor. With a soft yap, the lady shook her hand. While I'm at it, I'll adjust the time as well. Administrator authority activate, country lockdown. The 29th floor has been sealed. The entry level for the 29th floor has been increased. You are eligible to enter the 29th floor. Good. Seemingly satisfied, the lady smiled happily. Now, no one can enter the 29th floor till Death King leaves. Even constellations won't be able to enter. That place has been prepared for Death King, so go have a private conversation with your family. The dash, thank you? It was nothing. I wasn't sure what she did, but I still bowed my head. In any case, it seemed like an extravagantly authoritative action was taken just for me. Head to the 29th floor first. I'll send Silverheart and the broken-hearted pig there soon. Well, this is also part of the service. Feel free to enjoy it. The lady clapped her hands. If you want to come back, just think of my face and say, return. Before that, I won't interfere with the 29th floor, so don't worry.
See ya.
A smile finally appeared on the lady's lips. Confirming the Death King's qualifications. Permitted to enter Ascension City, side story. A black shadow covered my eyes. When I opened my eyes again, I was standing in the middle of an intersection. Honk! A car horn blared loudly at the intersection. It was really noisy. But thanks to it, I was able to clear my head. When I turned my head, the driver of the car pointed towards me. Hey! You want to die? What kind of brat can't get out of the way in time? He was being rude even though it was our first time meeting. But the universe got revenge on the driver's impatience. A red light. The sign indicating a complete stop flashed overhead. I'm sorry. If you're sorry, then get out the way. I swear, young people. I stepped out of the middle of the intersection. The cars which had stopped moving because of me, began to move once again. The drivers turned to glare at me again, but that was it. They quickly drove away. The cars moved in 2 lanes, and soon, the city became completely indifferent to my existence and flowed according to its own schedule. Just as the city became indifferent to me. I also lost interest in it. Because on the other side of the crossing was a face I missed dearly. Raviel. She was dressed casually. In clothes that didn't match the modern city setting. Raviel created her own paradise under a traffic light. Gongja? It seemed the after-effects of the teleportation hadn't yet cleared. Raviel rested her hand on her forehead. Is this hallucination magic? Is another constellation invading? It's sad that my wife is wagging his tail in front of me, and I can't pet him because I have to figure out the truth.
Ah.
Are you feeling dizzy? Do you need to take a seat? No. It's too hot here. Let's go to a store first and rest. But first, give me a hug. This silliness. It's definitely my love. Raviel's tensed brow relaxed and she finally smiled. I'm sorry I doubted you even for a moment. Gongja. It's fine. We are each other's biggest weaknesses, so we always need to be careful. When I was clearing the 35th floor, I ran into a dream demon who tried to imitate Raviel. Ho! That caught my attention. How many seconds did it take you to realize it wasn't me? 1 second. I figured it out before I breathed out. I smiled brightly. It was a stupid dream demon who wasn't even wearing your wedding ring. Indeed. That was a fatal mistake. Raviel giggled softly. I grabbed her left hand before her laughter died down. Gently. I rubbed the wedding ring on her finger, pulled her hand slightly, and kissed her. I missed you. I'm happy to see you. Is everything all right with the family?
Ah.
The lady of the house is gone and the lady of golden silk maid suddenly disappeared, which caused a major disruption in the management of the mansion. If this duke had been even a bit less capable, the family might have collapsed. Note, so he's the lady of the house? That. No matter who it is, to marry such a capable person, they must have saved the country 3 times in their past life. I heard you saved the world a few times. This time, Raviel was the one that initiated the kiss. We looked lovingly into each other's eyes for a while. Anyways, what's going on, Gongja? As I was doing my morning work, a little blonde child suddenly popped up from the floor and said, "Hi?" Sorry. Death King asked me to take you to the 29th floor for a while. Ah. That person is a pillar. A pillar? Yes. You can call them constellations above constellations. She's one of the people that manages the tower. I asked her to let me meet Raviel for a moment as a reward for clearing the 35th and she agreed. But I didn't just bring you here recklessly.
Ah.
Raviel stroked my cheek. For reference, we were still at the intersection. Cars and passers-by were still going past. Oh my God. Kids these days. Seriously, the level of education. The people walking down the street stopped one by one and looked over at them while whispering. Well. A beautiful woman like Raviel was openly showing her affection in broad daylight, so any sane person couldn't help but be distracted. Of course, we didn't pay them any mind. This was my first time reuniting with Raviel after a few months, so why would I have space in my consciousness for other people? My brain was currently busy taking and storing images of Raviel's face. The Ascension City side story was a world created because of me, so they could tolerate this kind of behavior. You asked for such a cute reward. Did you miss me that much? Actually, I have something to tell Raviel. Daddy? At that moment, the world seemed to freeze for a moment. You're Daddy, right? No matter how I look at it, you're definitely Daddy. Raviel and I slowly looked over. There, Ubukra stood, staring at me with his arms folded. Raviel tilted her head to the side. Daddy? My heart sank. No. Wait a minute. Raviel, what happened was... Oh my God. Aberka frowned. What a disappointment. You were grinning so happily with your colleague not so long ago, and now you're trying to bump lips and make love with someone else. My hope for Daddy is fading by the day. Scrunch. Raviel's eyebrows moved about 11 degrees down. A colleague? Is that so? Raviel turned to look at me. Gongja. This guy keeps saying interesting words and sentences. Unless my language skills are lacking, it's hard for my doubts and inferences to drift off in a certain direction. No. 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 Raviel. It's not like that. You're so shameless, Daddy. You confidently said in front of me, I have a special relationship with the Black Dragon Master. How shameless are you to meet someone else? I can't understand it. Ho. Raviel's lips were stretched thin. If it's Black Dragon Master, that should be the person who came to the first meeting. Raviel reached out and grabbed my neck. The strength of her grip wasn't that strong. But even if the Devil King grabbed my throat, I wouldn't be this scared. Of course, I believe in our love. I wouldn't doubt you even if words like affair somehow intruded into our life. But I still want to ask for an explanation. I don't know why. Gongja, I will give you exactly 60 seconds, so speak for your life and my peace. This was unfair.